Alright, welcome back to another video where today we're going to be actually reviewing the hex. So I have a neutron hex here and I have a lizottle hex, the new lizottle hex. And now this lizottle hex, disclaimer, I've probably been throwing it for a week or two now, so it's slightly beat in, so I expect that it's going to fly very similar to this neutron hex. Now, it was a little bit more stable than this neutron hex, brand new, but it's hit a few trees since then, so it probably flies about the same. But the numbers on this is 5, 5, -1, 1. So today we're going to be going, just like our previous video with the bird, we're going to be throwing from this distance. It's going to be about 220 feet. I'm going to try to replicate more of a beginner arm speed or a lower arm speed player that's throwing mid 220 feet probably. And then we'll back up and I'll try to, if I can get a good angle, I'll probably try to throw from like 350 feet or so to my bag. And we'll go from there for the more advanced players. And then after that, I'll throw sidearms from about 180 feet probably for for a beginner player, and then I'll go back to probably 250 feet or so for a more advanced player for sidearm with a hex. So first we're going to be starting off with this backhand from about 220 feet. Going with a neutron hex first. So I actually threw it probably 20 feet short of my bag. It is kind of, so we do have a little bit of a tailwind still. I'd say that's probably like 8 miles an hour tailwind. And that hex flew kind of overstable. It's not crazy overstable, but it was a little bit overstable. So this one I'll try to throw a little bit more flat than I did the last one. So that was a better shot. It wasn't straight at my bag, but you could get a better view of the flight of that. So it went pretty straight, and then it has a decent bit of fade at the end. So that's probably what you'll be expecting from a slower arm speed. It's gonna go pretty straight at first, and then it'll have a little bit of a fade at the end. So I'm gonna go get those, and then I'll probably go back another 100 feet or so. All right, so now we are probably about 315 feet. So now I'm going to show you, I'll try to throw these flat. It'll probably come out on hyzer because I normally throw hyzer, but I'll try to throw them as flat as I can. My bag, you're probably not going to be able to see it too well, but my bag is about 310 feet away. So we'll see how this neutron one flies first. So it came out on a little bit of hyzer and it flipped up just a tad. And it just pretty much pushed dead straight. I actually think that I probably went 30 feet, probably past 30, 40 feet past my bag. So these hexes fly really far. So I'd say that probably went like 350 feet or so. And then now we'll throw the lizottle. I'll try to throw this one flat as well. So it came out a little bit of hyzer too, but it didn't flip up quite as much as that neutron hex. It pretty much held the hyzer and just pretty much pushed. It had a little bit more of a fade at the end than the neutron one, but they're honestly pretty similar. Brand new, I could tell that one was initially more stable than the neutron hex. But now it's still a little bit more overstable, but still a very good disc. So I'm gonna go get those, and then I'll do some forehands with them from about 200 feet. All right, so now this time we're gonna be throwing sidearms with a hex. So we're at about 180 feet. This is, I think, would probably be more of where slower arm speed forehand players are gonna be throwing it from. So I'll show you how these fly. We have a little bit of tailwind, so I actually might, from this distance, I might try to throw a slight anhyzer with a forehand to get it all the way there, because I think if I throw it flat from this distance, it's going to be too overstable. So I'll throw this neutron one first. So as you can see, I did throw it with a little bit of anhyzer, and it definitely came out of it pretty quick. And then now we're going with the lizottle. I threw that one a little bit lower, but you can still see it flex back out. And both of those actually went probably 20-30 feet past the bag. I didn't have quite the control with it that time, but I'm gonna go get those, and then I'll probably go back another 40 feet or so and show you longer forehands with those. All right, so now we are about 240-250 feet away. This time I'll try to throw it a little bit harder, show you more of an advanced pro level forehand player would be throwing the hex like. So as you could see, that one I threw a little bit more like on a hyzer, and from this distance the hex actually flips up a little bit. So we do have a little bit of tailwind. So normally without this tailwind it would probably flip up like that and might turn just a tad. It wouldn't flip all the way over, but just with this headwind it just had it flip up just a tad, run pretty much straight, and then have a little bit of a fade at the end. I think that this lizottle will fly very similar. It may not flip up quite as much, but it'll probably fly pretty similar. I'm gonna have to wait for this guy to get out of the way. I don't want to hit him. All right. So that one, it did flip up a little bit. I didn't throw it quite as good as the first one, but you still did get to see it flip up just a tad, and it might have had just a little bit more of a fade than the neutron hex. But both of those are gonna be, that's the first like straight mid-range that I've been able to forehand, because I used to throw buzzes and like discs like that are just straight mid-ranges, but the hex is the first disc that me as a forehand player I've been able to throw pretty hard, and to be able to get them fly pretty straight, because with buzzes and other straight mid-ranges, whenever I try to forehand them hard they just turn over and roll. But the hex has been the first mid-range that I've been able to throw, and it flies pretty straight. So that'll be the review. So if you think that you'll like the hex, I think that it's a very forehand friendly straight mid-range. So if you're looking for something like that, then I definitely suggest going to buy a hex. So thanks for watching the video.